All right, hello and welcome to a session of our Fit Essentials Basics class. If you are using your B3 bands today, we've already added air. I've got them on my legs. And then later on, we'll be using a little step stool in our second circuit. If you have a step stool, you want to have that around. And also the long TheraBands for some seated rows. We'll be utilizing the long bands in our second circuit. But for now, let's go ahead. You can either start standing or I'm going to demo from the chair for the first couple of stretches. And then we're going to be coming up to our feet for some like marching and stretching and some elevated mountain climbers. So if you are going to stand, you'll do a standing cat-cow. Otherwise, go ahead and join me in the chair. We're going to do a little bit of breathing and we're going to warm up our ankles before we get rolling. So sitting tall, draw the stomach in, hands come onto the knees. And then as I breathe out, I'm going to tuck my belly in towards my spine, roll my shoulders forward, bow the head down. And then as you breathe in, lift the chest, draw the shoulders back, slide the hands up the legs. We'll go about 3 more times here. Breathing out. Breathing in. If your airways are clear, see if you can breathe in through the nose and then maybe out through the mouth. Nice long, deep breaths. Final time. Draw the chin to the chest, the gentle stretch on the back of the neck, into that mid back, and then really squeeze those shoulders back and down, broaden through the chest. Very nice. From here, either standing and practicing the balance or sitting tall. We're going to go into our ankle rolls next. I'm going to interlace my hands, squeeze the shoulders back, and now anywhere between 5 and 10 circles of the ankle each direction. Switch that rotation when you're ready. The floor is a little chilly this morning, so I've got my shoes on. If you are in a space that you're able to have your shoes off, I do recommend that. Go ahead and set the foot down, and same thing other side. Lift on up, squeeze those shoulders back, and now we'll loosen up the ankles on this side. Good, change directions. Normal to feel some clicks and pops through there. Good, and resting from there. All right, either drive off your legs or reach those arms up, pull yourself up to standing. You're gonna kind of find a spot that you can work with here. And you wanna have either a chair, back of the couch, or a tabletop nearby for our elevated mountain climber. All right, but first things first, we're gonna start with our glute march. The only difference between a regular march is instead of driving your knees high, I want you to think about pulling the foot up and underneath your glutes or your butt. So you're gonna march in place, drive the arms, and we're looking to activate the back of the hamstrings here, the back of the thighs. Breathing, driving those arms to the side, chest nice and tall. We'll go another 10 seconds here. Excellent. Nice smooth arm swing. All right, next exercise, we're gonna work on a little bit of a lateral walk. So start standing tall, reach those arms out. You can come in just a little mini quarter squat, and you're gonna step the feet out, step the feet in, step them out, and step them in. Open the arms as you step out, close the arms as you step in. And then when you're ready, we'll take it the other way. Open and close, open and close. Excellent. Take it down and back. Chest up, shoulders down. 10 seconds left. Try to make your way back to the start. And 2, 1, and shake it out. Standing up nice and tall. Now we're going to focus on a regular march with the crossbody punch, lifting the knees. Think about lifting the foot and toes, and then breathe out as you punch across the body. Wonderful. Squeeze those shoulders back as you stand tall. And then when you're ready, this is some balance work in disguise here, or maybe not so disguised. If you feel that wobble, be kind to yourself. It's Valentine's Day here today when we're filming this. So you can show love for yourself by being kind with how you speak to yourself. Last time, and take a pause there. Next, our side stretch sway. So you're gonna walk the feet about hip width apart. Draw the stomach in. Just a small little bend into those knees. Now we're going to take one arm, reach up to overhead. Opposite arm reaches towards that opposite thigh. Period up to that hand if you feel stable. And then when you're ready, you'll breathe in and then breathe out as you switch sides. Same thing, other direction. And then just find a little flow here. Pausing for just a moment at the top position and then breathing in and flowing through the other way. Let's get one more each direction. We're going to our elevated mountain climbers next. And rest. So for those mountain climbers, I'm going to find an elevated surface. I'm going to use this box here. A tabletop works great. Draw the stomach in. You'll go into that front plank position, placing one hand underneath each shoulder, walking the feet back. If this is tough, just stay right here, drawing the stomach in. If you want to work that full mountain climber, you're going to draw the knee towards that same side elbow, breathing out as you draw the knee up, because you're basically compressing that diaphragm of that thigh drives up. So blow the air out and then breathe it in as you come back to that plank position. Stay as stable as you can through the hips. And then once you know the movement, pull that chin in, looking right between the hands. 10 seconds left. It's our final exercise of this circuit, and we're going to go one more time through. And 2, 1, and pause, making your way back up to standing. Shake it out, and we'll be back to that glute march. So walk the feet in, toes pointing forward, and then when you're ready, marching the arms, pulling those heels underneath. You know your body better than I can, so you find your tempo. You want to move a little bit faster this set, then just switching a little bit faster, or be a little bit more deliberate. Lifting up, 10 seconds left. We're moving in that lateral walk coming up next. And shake it out. All right, so remember for that lateral walk, we're going to come into that little mini quarter squat position. Squeeze the shoulders back. As you step the feet wide, reach the arms out. As you step the feet in, reach the hands in. Open and close. Open and close. Wonderful. Eyes up, looking forward. There you go. Keeping that head up. Excellent. Depends upon the space that you have, and you are from 2 steps out, maybe upwards of 4 to 5 steps out. I think I'm going about 3-ish here. Final 10 seconds. Try to make your way back to your starting position and shake it out. Whew. All right, where we're going next is our march and punch. So standing tall, walking those feet back in, drive those arms into the sides, pulling the elbows back. And then when you're ready, lifting up, punch as you breathe out. Hands high here, up by those shoulders. We get a little bit of that cross body practice, working that cross crawl pattern. Function, work that brain with the body. Good. Eyes up, just like that lateral walk. Find a spot straight ahead to focus on. That's going to help keep your chest up nice and tall. Balance out each side and shake it out. Walking those feet out, draw the stomach in. We're coming back in that side stretch sway. One hand reaches under, palm up, the hand that reaches overhead, palm down towards the floor. And then you just flow from side to side, looking to lengthen, that side body. When that low back gets stiff, sometimes we need to stretch the side of the body. It's not always the area of the low back that needs to lengthen. So remember some of these movements when you're on your own, living your life, and you're noticing your body saying, hey, I need a little bit of movement here. All right, wonderful job. Making your way back to your mountain climber. Stretch breaks coming up. Coming on over, draw that stomach in so you're not overarching that lower spine. Walking those feet back. And then as soon as you're ready, either holding that upper plank or marching the knees. Nice strong breath out as you drive that knee up. And try to be active and engaged through the ankles. So don't let the toes kind of droop down as you drive the knee up. Lift up through that foot and toes as well. Strong through that upper body, drawing the belly in, keeping those arms nice and straight, and think about lifting up through your shoulders. Like if I were there in the living room with you or wherever you are in your place, I'd tap you right between the shoulder blades and say, lift up. Final time. And walking it in. Wonderful job. Let's grab a drink of water. We're going to be using the step stool in our next circuit. So if you don't have a step stool nearby, go ahead and grab it. All right, and sometimes it's best to have this maybe behind the couch, in a doorway, if you can have somewhere that you can kind of support that upper body. I'm going to turn my chair around, and then I can use the back of the chair as needed. Make sure that's going to be stable for you. Before we jump into it, let's repeat back to those hip circles. Let's loosen it up through the hips. So we're going to be working the step ups for 1.5 minutes, alternating legs. So working a little bit of endurance today. Make sure you change direction of those hip circles. And then I'm just going to walk you through the first round. We have a string of about 5 exercises that we're going to be moving towards. I recommend having that long band around and maybe some light dumbbells, or you can just reach up to overhead because we're going to have a little collection of different movements to be working towards. All right, we're going to get started here in about 15 seconds with those step ups. If you're familiar with the movement, you can go right into it. Otherwise, I'll be talking you through it as we move. So standing tall. When you're ready, you're going to pick the one foot up, put as much of your foot onto that step as you can. Bring your weight up and over the step and then driving straight down. I want you to stand all the way up at the top, bringing both feet onto the step. Squeeze the back side of the body and fully open those hips, stacking the shoulders right over top. Fantastic. We're alternating legs. So you'll come up and down on one side and then switch. Opposite leg steps up, reach those arms out, pull yourself tall, and then reaching back. Wonderful. So some key areas to notice here. Whatever's happening at the foot and ankle is going to impact what goes on at the knee and the hip. So as I put my foot on that step, I'm going to drive down. If I can activate that big toe, kind of push down through the toe as well. That's going to activate those arches. We have those 3 different arches that live in the foot. And it helps stabilize the ankle. And then you're going to take note that that knee doesn't try to dive in on you. Sometimes we're strong as we step up, and sometimes that knee likes to dive down as you lower yourself off. We're 1 minute in, 30 seconds left. So try to take a little bit of a notice what's going on through the knee and the foot. And the last piece we really focus on is through the hips, not letting those hips kick out to the sides. So as you draw the stomach up and in, that's going to help you stabilize through those hips. Good job. Maybe a couple more here. Woo, warm it up now. 2, 1, and take a pause there. Next, we're going to be working our hinging pattern, but instead of just moving right into it, we're going to stretch the low back a little bit first. So walk the feet in, draw the stomach in. We're going to do our toe touch stretch with a soft bend in the knees, bow your head down towards the chest, draw your stomach in, and then just very slowly slide the hands down, making sure you're keeping that bend in the knees so you don't overarch through the knees or the back. Breathing to the back, and then when you're ready, you'll come back up to the top nice and slow. Squeeze the glutes as you stand tall. Very good. And then from here, you're going to walk your feet about hip width apart. Ensure that you're not arching that low back. So draw the stomach in, walk the hips back, and then arms crossing over the shoulders here. We're going to practice those good mornings. As you keep the chest up, draw those elbows up, send your hips back. Now we're practicing that nice long flat spine. Yeah. And then just turn sideways to the camera if you can, so I can see everybody's body line. Over and up. Similar to how we stood tall on the top of the step. We're going to stand tall here with these good mornings. 1 or 2 more. Push the butt back. Keep the chest tall. And standing all the way up. Fantastic. All righty. From here, you can use a lightweight if you want. On the first round, I'm just going to demo making a fist with my hands. Soft bend those knees, check in with your feet. We want those toes to be pointing straight ahead on this exercise. Midline draws in, and we're going into our alternating overhead reach. Pushing that hand right up to overhead, drawing it down, elbows pointing forward as you draw it down. Good. Nice. Find that rhythm, breathing out. Give a little gentle side bend with it. And on this version, we are trying to elevate all the way through the shoulder. Just a gentle little shoulder shrug, thinking about elevating that shoulder up and in towards the ear. That helps to keep that shoulder blade moving through its full range of motion where it can fully laterally rotate along your rib cage. Maybe 1 more on each side. And rest. Beautiful. If you were using weights, go ahead and set those down. We're going to warm up our squats next. I like to use this chair here when we're first trying to open up those hips and using that range of motion. And now you're going to walk the feet out, just a gentle toe out. eyes up. And then when you're ready, if you don't need the chair, don't need to hold on, reach your arms out in front. Otherwise, hold on. That's going to help you get a little bit deeper into that squat. And then similar to what we focused on for those step ups, drive into those feet, pushing straight down, coming all the way up. Knees push wide, open through those hips, driving down, standing all the way up. Very good. And then try to wake up all those small muscles of like the pelvic floor. So you can imagine if you're like in a car ride, you're like, I really gotta go, but we can't quite get there yet. Those smaller muscles. Sometimes we get a little embarrassed to talk about it, but we all have them. We all need to remember how to use them. Final time, sitting back, pull yourself up and make your way to seated. You're gonna take that long band with you as you go to sit down. This is our final exercise in this circuit. So long band, coming on down. I'm gonna wrap that band, sit on the edge of the chair, wrap the band around one foot. And now my posture is really key here because this is to help train that posture. So I'm gonna sit up nice and tall, draw the chin in. When you're ready, you're gonna turn the palms down with nice long extended arms. And then as we row both arms together, we rotate the palms up, squeeze the shoulders back behind, breathing in, reaching forward, breathing out, draw it back. Good. See if you can breathe in through the nose, out through the mouth. And now think long neck position here. So I have very little to no movement through the head and neck. And largely we're just moving through the shoulder girdle. So I reach it forward, squeeze it back. Fantastic. Breathing in as you reach out, breathing out as you draw in. 10 seconds. Fantastic. One more time. Reach it out, draw it back, and go ahead and rest. Awesome job. All right, we're going to take just a quick little stretch break here. We're going to do that seated toe touch or seated forward fold. So sitting tall, hands on the thighs, chin to the chest, and then just slide on down. You want to have a nice gentle stretch of the low back. This concludes the end of that circuit, and we're going to go through it twice more. Breathing into the back. When you're ready, coming back up to top. Let's go ahead and grab a drink of water. And then we're going to be starting round 2 of those step ups in right about 30 seconds. Those wearing the bands, we're going to get about halfway through this next circuit and then we'll let the air out. So just kind of follow me. All right, 15 seconds. Remember, once again, these are those longer intervals of the step ups, working a little bit more endurance today. So we'll have a minute and a half or 90 seconds to practice, and we're all training legs. All right, standing up nice and tall. When you're ready, here we go. Stepping it up, using the upper body as needed. Trying to keep the hips nice and level. I'm going to show you from the front what we want to avoid. We want to avoid that like hip shift. Squeeze that, pull the belly in, stand all the way up. And then also that knee tracking. So keeping the knees nice and aligned. Yep, chest tall. Yep. Depending upon your comfort with this movement, you can start to move a little bit faster or just focus on quality of movement. So I'd rather see good full range with nice alignment through your joints than see you all sloppy moving up and down nice and quickly. Speed is not always the best thing. We are over halfway through. Keep breathing. Super, there's 1 minute. We're gonna be working on some deadlifts next. If you have a weight that you want to pick up off the ground, that's what we're gonna be demoing with. 20 seconds left. Woo, great job. Remember to all the way up at the top, squeeze the backside, final 10 seconds. Practice that standing tall posture where we really open the hips, open the shoulders, and take a rest. Nice job. All right, if you'd like to use a light to moderate dumbbell, we're coming into our deadlifts next. So I'm gonna walk the feet about hip width apart. I'm gonna hold the weight right between my legs, Draw the stomach in with a soft bend in those knees. When you're ready, we're gonna push the hips back, just like we practiced with those good mornings, lowering the weight to the floor and then squeeze the backside as you stand tall. There's a theme here. I know I talk about the back of the body a lot because we tend to be a little bit dormant through those muscles, and they're like our biggest muscles in the body. So when we sit a lot throughout the day, we don't usually use them like we need to. So that's why I talk about them quite a bit. It's what we focus on. Standing up all the way tall. I like to imagine I've got that string pulling the top of my head straight up towards the sky. 1 or 2 more. And go ahead and rest. Fantastic. If you are using those B3 bands or any kind of BFR band, go ahead and release the air. And then next exercise is that overhead press or overhead reach. So I am going to use some weights this time. This could be done from seated. If you want to take a little bit of a break, you can sit on down. Otherwise, we'll start here in 10 seconds. Elbows up and forward, feet about hip width apart. And then when you're ready, we'll breathe out as we elevate up, breathe in as you lower down. And the goal here is to alternate sides. If you're stiff through that upper body, sometimes there's that tendency where you want to lean back as you press up. I want you to focus against that. So I want you to pull the front of the ribs down and in, squeeze the tush, and alternating sides. You notice here, I'm bringing that weight right over the center of my head. Elbow points forward as I lower down. Breathing out as you push up, and be about 1 more on each side. We're practicing our squatting next. 2, 1, and rest. Nice job. Set it down. Once again, I'd like you to still focus on that full range of motion, but if you want, you could always squat to the chair and stand. So we call it like a sit stand. Otherwise, set the feet, draw the stomach in, and then when you're ready, we'll start reaching out. Keeping those eyes up. Making room for those hips to sink back as you push those knees as wide as you can. To reach those arms up and out, kind of keeping the hands right about shoulder height. That just helps encourage that chest to stay tall so we don't lose our posture forward. Wonderful. And remember to try to activate lifting up, holding strong through the pelvis, all those little pelvic floor muscles. And one of the biggest challenges is to engage those muscles without holding your breath. So focus to still breathe as you move there and as you engage. Last rep. Wonderful. We're headed down to the seated row next. So finish that rep and then meet me in the chair. Taking that long band with you. Maybe. Posture matters here. So as you sit down, you can move the flesh out of the way and then take that band around the 1 foot. Remember, as you reach out, palms facing down to the floor. And then when you're ready, we'll begin. Squeeze the shoulders back, rotate the hands up. Breathing in as you reach out. Breathing out as you draw back. Be really intentional through that head and neck. I like to add the pause here. So I'll breathe out and I'll pause before I breathe in and go into that next rep. Really encouraging the activation of those muscles of the mid-back right between those shoulder blades. Keep those strong. Help us to stand tall and sit tall, avoiding that rounded shoulder position. 10 seconds. Breathing in and breathing out. Fantastic. Go ahead and shake it out. We're going to stay right here in the chair for a moment. If your water cup's nearby, you can grab a drink. Otherwise, I'm going to set you up for a little bit of mid-back mobility. So our mid-back thoracic rotations, what we do here is we bring the one hand behind the head, opposite hand on the knee. As I breathe in, I'm going to come across, bring that elbow towards that opposite knee. And then sitting tall, I'm going to draw the elbow back behind me. I'm using the other hand to gently push against that knee, peering over that shoulder 5 times, breathing in, rounding forward, breathing out, sitting tall. And it's really key to follow the elbow with your eyes. If you follow the elbow with the eyes, you're going to get just a little bit more rotation through the spine. Good. Twice more. Last one, and then we'll do the same thing on that opposite side. Switching when you're ready. Here we go. Opening through the chest, down and up. We're going to go through that full circuit one last time. If you're having maybe a long weekend, if you're fighting a little bit of a cold or feeling a little bit under the weather, you know, moderate yourself on if you move all the way through with us, and maybe you kind of just move lightly through this final rounds. Otherwise, about 30 seconds, we'll be starting our last set of those step ups. So if you didn't get a drink before, go ahead and grab a drink now, and then head over to that station. And remember, we've got a minute and a half to practice here, so make sure you don't rush yourself. If you are ready to go, our minute and a half starts now. Driving through that foot, pulling yourself all the way up. Use those arms as needed to help steady yourself. As you start to build some strength here, if you can start to work without the arms, and you can reach them out. Similar to when we're practicing our squats. So if I need it, I can hold onto this chair, help push myself tall, and then controlling down from there. Excellent. If you feel like your hips are kicking out to the side, you're not as stable without the arms, then I do encourage to use that upper body to support so that you're not irritating your joints as you practice this here. Up, forward. Almost missed my step. Make sure you keep focused. Whew. Halfway through that minute and a half. Good breathing. Nice job, Shirley, moving well. There you go, Diane. Like that little tempo. Good, Laura. Good extension at the top, all the way up. All right, everyone, staying strong, staying focused. We have about 15 seconds left. If you need a little extra break, go ahead and take it now. There's no shame in resting. We've got deadlifts coming up next. And 3, 2, 1, and transition. Great work. So for the deadlift, we're practicing how to bend over and pick something up off the ground or to set something onto the ground. I'm going to show it with 2 weights this time. Instead of holding them in between my legs, which I could, it wouldn't be wrong. This time I'm going to hold them on the outer side. So I can imagine I'm carrying some grocery bags here, and now I got to practice setting them down on the ground. As you stand tall, check in with your mid-body. So I'm going to roll those hips back as I draw the stomach in towards the spine with a soft bend the knees. I'm going to keep those weights close to my body as I send my hips back. And then just like those step ups, squeezing the backside, squeezing the shoulders, standing tall. Good. And now as we bow down, chin in, you can look down towards the floor as you bow forward. And then I want you looking straight ahead as you stand tall. Long spine position. Try not to lose the posture for that mid-back. Wonderful. 20 seconds left. Controlling down and then driving into those legs. Strong to stand. Wonderful. 1 or 2 more. And 3, 2, 1, and rest. Feel free to shake it out. We've got our overhead reach or overhead press coming up next. So I bring those weights up to my shoulders, feet about hip width apart. Just a little soft bend the knees, and then whenever we're ready, start to push one arm up, lower it down, and then same thing other side. Try to flex your quads, squeeze your bum. So you stay engaged that lower body as we practice keeping our range of motion and strength through our shoulders. Good. Really nice. Great reach, everyone. Open and close. Beautiful. Eyes looking forward. Still try to wake up that backside, squeeze the tush. Maybe 1 more on each arm. and rest. Wonderful. Squatting is next. This is our last squats of the day. If you want a little extra challenge, you could hold a weight right underneath the chin. Otherwise, you'll reach those arms out. You're gonna walk the feet a little bit wider than overhead press. And then chest up. When you're ready, you can still hold on as well, as I demoed the first couple of rounds. Otherwise, now we're gonna sit back. I'm showing you what it looks like when I'm holding a weight here underneath my chin. I'm gonna really fight to push my elbows and my shoulders up and forward so I can still keep that chest angle. Fantastic. Good, Laura. Good, Diane. Don't let those eyes drop down. Keep those eyes up. Excellent, Shirley. It's our last bit of squatting for the day. Holding strong, knees push out. And then wake up those legs. How much force can you push into the ground? Push, push, push straight down. Standing tall. One or two more. 3, 2, 1, and rest. Nice work. We're headed back to the chair. Seated row with the band. Almost done with this nice long circuit. So we don't want to be slouched right up on those sit bones. Pick a foot, wrap that band around, draw those shoulders back. Remember, palms down with the arms straight. Here we go, palms up as you flex those biceps and draw those elbows back. Breathing in, breathing out, adding a little pause in that back position. Breathing in, breathing out. Beautiful. Keeping the eyes up, finding something straight ahead to focus on. And then watch, sometimes we'll have to lose that head forward as we reach forward. So keep that chin drawn back and in. Let's go twice more. Reach it out. Let's hold for a 3 count. 3, 2, 1, and final time. Stretch it long and draw it back. 3, 2, 1, and all done there. Awesome work. We're all done with that band. Go ahead and set it to the side and stay here with me in the chair. We're going to stretch that upper body next. All right, so sitting up nice and tall. We're going to, we haven't done our eagle arms in a while, so we're going to do our eagle arm stretch. Take your arms, stretch them out wide. Let's take your right arm as you reach it over. It's going to be your top arm. Sorry, this will be your left arm. And then your right arm is going to sweep under, interlace those hands. And now you're just trying to kind of shimmy those elbows down and in. Try to keep that head up. I take the one hand, I push down against the palm. So which arm is that? That would be your right arm pushing down against the palm of the left arm. And then it's kind of like this little isometric engagement through the upper body. The elbows push down as the elbows of the bottom arm raise up. The whole idea is to get a little bit of a stretch, like on the outer aspect would be your left shoulder. Take about 2 or 3 more nice deep breaths. And on that next breath, go ahead and release those arms. And same thing, other side. So splay them wide. And now let's see, it would be your right arm comes on top, left arm sweeps under. Shimmy those elbows down against the chest, draw that chin in, lift that head up. Left arm pushes down into the right, and elbows push down, push up. Breathe. Two more breaths. And rest. Good. Relax the arms. And now we're going to open up through the hips, and then we've got one final circuit. So we're going to go glute stretch next. Pick one foot up, interlace the hands. See if you can cross that foot over the opposite leg, readjust the hands, and now we're going to try to pull that knee towards the opposite hip. We're looking to isolate this outer glute area. Should feel a similar engagement through the mid-back as we did on those seated rows with that band. So those similar muscles are working to open through that hip. If you can, go ahead and grab onto the ankle, reposition the foot, And now we'll move into figure 4 on the same side. So just be gentle here. This can get intense quick for folks. One of the best ways we can show love is to speak kindly, both to others and especially to ourselves and our own body. Unfortunately, the media kind of trains us to be critical of our bodies. That's what tends to drive the industry. We buy all those gadgets, all those different things instead of just taking care of our bodies. Here we go, switching sides. We got that glute stretch first on the other side. Pick it up, interlace the hands, cross it over, readjust, draw it in. So we can't really depend upon the media to support us, although there are different movements happening to help people to kind of nurture themselves a bit more. But we want to notice, how do we talk to ourselves? We got some balance work coming up next. And that tends to be one of those areas that kind of can trigger us. Our balance is off and we just start making up all these stories about ourselves. Go ahead and release out that glute stretch. See if you can grab onto the ankle, come into that figure 4. Just like we practice our balance, we got to practice our self-talk as well. So if you notice that you're being mean to yourself, just try to release those thoughts. Think about how you would talk to your friend or your sister or your daughter. Your son tends to veer towards the feminine role when we think about nurturing, but men need it as well. When you're ready, go ahead and unwind yourself in that figure 4. Feel free to grab a drink of water. Coming up next, we've got 2 exercises. We're going to be working our side plank from an elevated surface. I'm going to be demoing off this box here. You can also just lean against the wall. Okay, the lower you are in the side plank, the harder it's going to be. So I can also hold on a chair here. In between sides, we're going to be coming up and we're going to be practicing like a single leg balance on that side. And then we'll be doing the same thing on the opposite side. Side plank from an elevated position and then single leg balance. I'll talk about it a little bit more as we move through, but go ahead as you come up, think about where you'd like to be. We're going to hold it here between, we're going to focus on 20-second intervals today. So to get into that side plank, usually I'll start in a front plank. Similar to those mountain climbers, I'll walk the feet back and then I'm going to shimmy myself to the side. Really key here not to let those hips sink down or shoulder to drop in. So when you're ready, here we go. 20 seconds starts now. Lifting up out of that downside shoulder, draw the chin in. Try to be as square as you can. Really key here, we don't want to collapse out of this. So if you need to step out early, please do. That's 15 seconds. Continue to breathe, continue to lift, and there's our rest. Unwind, come on up. And now it might be helpful to have something nearby to balance on. The same side that was down, if that was your left arm, now we're going to practice standing on the left leg. So when you're ready, you're going to lift up. You can go kind of like a little tree position here. You can bring that foot against the opposite ankle. You can work that foot up. Hold it on as needed. Otherwise, we'll go 20 more seconds from here. And all those stuff we talked about with the hips on those step ups, similar here. I don't want that hip to be kicking out. So draw up halfway, squeezing those shoulders back. That's going to help as well. And 2, 1, come on out of that. And now same thing on the opposite side of the body. So for the side plank on this side, I'm going to demo off the chair. Once again, the higher you are, the easier it's going to be. I'm going to come down into a front plank first, and then I'm going to shimmy myself onto the side, making sure my arm stays nice and long, lifting up out of that shoulder, and 20 seconds starts now. Very good. Working those obliques through the muscles of the side body and those hips a little bit. Halfway through. This is building some strength in the shoulders as well. So make sure you don't feel like you're going to collapse in that shoulder. Continue to lift up and come on out. Good job. Finishing with the balance on that same side. So if you were pushing through the right arm, now you're going to stand on the right leg. Drawing on up. If you want, you can kind of work that left foot, kind of push it, stand against the side. You can work it up, but keep it nice and low, either holding on or practicing that balance. Good. Squeeze those shoulders back. Make sure those keep them down out of the ears. I almost said elbows. Keep the shoulders down out of the ears. Drawing the chin in. 3, 2, 1, and resting there. Good job. Loosen up to those hips. We're going to take that through one more time, and then we'll do our final stretches. Great work, friends. Circle those hips the other way. All right, and then we're making our way back to your first arm for that last set of side planks. So come on to both arms to start. Keep my hips nice and level. I just slowly walk myself to the side, or once again, you can just lean against the wall. 2, 1, here's our 20. Gravity tends to pull us down, so you want to keep lifting up. Good. Find that spot straight ahead to focus your gaze. Avoid holding your breath. 5 seconds left. Ooh, I'm feeling my downside hip fire. And come on out of that. All right, so you're balancing on the same side leg. You can continue to walk that foot against, or if you want to just lift the knee up and forward. And one leg here. So we'll start that 20 seconds in 2, 1. Here we go. Again, holding on as needed or letting go as able. And now everything through the midline is going to help that balance. So keep pulling up, squeezing back through that upper body halfway through. Really nice. Woo! Feeling the burn. 2, 1, and shake it out. All right, almost done. Last set of side plank. Whew. Feeling the burn between these two classes today. Set the arms, walk the feet, turn it to the side. 2, 1, here goes our 20. Breathing and holding. It's pretty common to get a little bit stiff through the low back here because how those different muscles are firing. We will do a nice stretch for the low back here at the end. Almost done. And when you're ready, coming out of that. And final single leg balance practice. It's even harder when we practice our balance at the end. So if you're able to do it, make sure you really give yourself credit for that. If it feels harder, that's because you just done a whole class. When you're ready, 2, 1, 20 seconds. So the more fatigued you are, the harder it's going to be. Which means the more gracious you want to be with yourself. We're over halfway. Keep lifting, keep squeezing. 2, 1, and all done. Whew. All right. Give a little round of applause. And then instead of hip circles, let's come back into our figure eights. Find that belly button. And then just imagine we're trying to trace a little infinity sign or a figure 8 on the floor. When you're ready, let's go ahead and circle those hips. Try to draw that figure 8 the other way. Wonderful work. All right, from here, if you have that chair nearby, if you have a, something that you can kind of anchor your hands on, we're going to do, I call it the hinge stretch. So we're going to practice hinging at the hips. Draw the stomach in. Establish that nice soft bend in your knees. You're going to place the hands about chest or shoulder height. And then still as you draw the belly in, you're going to invite your chest and your head to lower down between the arms. Think about leading with your heart, lowering your heart towards the floor and watching that you don't overarch that lower spine. And now we can use our breathing to assist this stretch. So you're going to breathe in. You can kind of come out of that stretch a little bit on the inhale, lifting up through that mid back. And then as you breathe out, once again, guiding that heart down and keeping that soft bend in the knees. 2 or 3 more breaths. Think about pushing down with your palms. If you're against the back of the chair or the couch, push your palms to that surface. One last breath. And then when you're ready, slowly come on up. Walking the feet forward. All right, hip openers next. So you're going to stagger the feet. Take a nice big step forward with your left foot. Nice long step back with the right. Lower that right heel. Excuse me, it'd be your left heel for mirroring each other, but whatever makes sense to you. Cross those arms over. And now we've done that a lot before. Those of you that have been here, you're going to shift that hip forward and lift the chest. And then turn your torso, rotate your body to look over the shoulder of your front leg. Turn the head and neck. And then see if you can squeeze the glute of that trail leg. Try to wake it up, flex it. And when you're ready, gradually unwind. Great job. Same thing, opposite side. So I take a long step forward, rock that back heel down, arms cross over those shoulders. I'm gonna shimmy those hips forward, opening the front side of this hip, and then with a nice secure base, turn the body, kind of pull those arms over, turn the head and neck, breathe. Try to flex that glute of that trail leg. One more breath. And slowly unwind from there. Wonderful. Walk the feet back in. Hi, Moose. Quad stretch if you can do it. Standing tall, supporting as needed. Grabbing that foot. Yes, there's been a dog that's appeared on my mat here. All right, pulling that heel back. You can't quite get it. It's okay. It's a tough one, but it's a really great one. So if you can't do it from standing, but maybe you can do it when you're like on the bed or on the floor, this is a really good one, especially if you get stiff in your hips and low back. Whenever you're ready, go ahead and release that side. Same thing, other side. Lifting on up, draw the stomach in. All those little cues we use when we're practicing our balance. Good. Eyes up. Breathing. 2, 1, and let's release that foot. All right, grab a drink and then meet me in the chair. What do you think, Moose? Gonna be right in the way? Huh? Can I entice you with your little puppet? Moose just got a new friend for Valentine's Day, got a new horse, got a new puppet because the last one is pretty much totally deflated. All the stuffing's been removed, even after a couple of surgeries to restuff it. Oh yeah, he just wants to wiggle. All right, we talked about we're gonna stretch out that low back. So we're gonna do that cross body stretch. We're gonna sit up nice and tall. I'm gonna send Moose on his way. If you're nearing me, it's be your left hand. Hold on to the seat of that chair with your right. And then you're gonna reach across and then nice and slow, bow the head down, slide the hand down, reaching towards the outer aspect of your ankle. But if you're a little bit stiff, don't force it. I know I'm feeling to stretch a little bit sooner than I normally would. And then as always, the breath is your friend. So use that air, sending it into the area where you're feeling that tension. Make sure you don't get dizzy down here. Maybe 1 or 2 more breaths. When you're ready, use the inhale to slowly come on up. And then we're going to do the same thing on the other side. Bring Moose over to this side. Okay. Oh yeah, so exciting. Sitting tall, holding onto the seat of the chair, reaching around, draw the stomach up and in, and then just nice and gradual, lower on down. Breathing into that side body. Very nice. And then nice and slow, coming back up. And remember that cat-cow that we started with? We're going to repeat it here near the end of our stretching. Long arms, bowing forward once again, breathing out, chin down to the chest, get a little stretch for the back of the neck, and then breathing in. We want to really emphasize that tall chest, squeezing those shoulders back. Good. Breathing out, roll it forward, bow it down. Breathing in. Roll those shoulders back. Try to broaden through the heart. I'm going to take you through one more time. Down. Keep these movements in mind when you're feeling that stiffness, when your body starts to talk to you. Remember, motion is lotion. Movement is our medicine to keep our body strong and vital. We'll do our final breaths here together. We've done the shoulder shrugs. I'm going to add a full arm circle in with it today. So palms together in front of the body. Draw your chin in. As you breathe in, reach those arms up to overhead. As you breathe out, circle them down and out to the side. Spread the hands wide. Wonderful. Twice more. Palms together. Breathing in. Breathe in love, breathe in faith and confidence that we're going to be moving towards a more vital and healthy world. One more time. Breathe in that peace for everybody and breathe out all that stress and worry that tends to consume our minds. All right, everyone. Thank you so much. Great to move with you today. If you've got a water glass nearby that you can finish before you get up and move into whatever's next, go ahead and finish your water. Your body will thank you for it. Hydration is really key to help keep us lubricated. And otherwise, we'll see you next time.